Hello everyone, I'm Dragon Whelp, and today I'm going to show you how I shine. First off, I'm going to go into the talents. I have Boulder Fist, Wind Rush Totem, Lightning Surge Totem, Hailstorm, Tempest, Crash Storm, and Landslide. The only difference in raid situations that I change from, I usually run Feral Lunge when I'm out in the world questing or doing world quests. But in a raid situation where speed may be key, I use Wind Rush Totem to share my lovely Wind Rush with everybody else. On to my weapon. That's not my weapon. There we go. That's my weapon. Mostly I followed Icy-Veins' advice, but a little bit too late. When I first started Legion, got all of what I thought was viable, what I thought to be great. But the way you should do things in a real life situation, if you follow Icy-Veins' guide, now we switch over to the weapon calculator to follow the Icy-Veins route. So we grab the Doom Winds, grab Hammer of the Storm, get 3 points into Gathering Storms, 3 points into Wind Strikes, then you go up to Alpha Wolf. Always remember to get to Alpha Wolf. 3 points into Spiritual Healing, then grab Doom Wolves, come over and grab Storm Flurry, then head off to the right-hand side of the tree, picking up Elemental Healing, Raging Storms, Spirit of the Maelstrom, and Unleash Doom. After you pick up Unleash Doom, you go down to Weapon of the Elements, grab 3 points in there, go to Gathering of the Maelstrom, 3 points in there, and then finally finishing up this line with Wind Surge, 3 points into there. Finally, you go to Forged in Lava, grab 3 points there, and finally picking up your last golden talent of Doom Vortex. And then that will unlock Earth-Shattering Blows, which reads, your mastery of Doom Hammer increases furthering empowering your attacks, increases all damage by 5%. Then you just go in and you get 20 points into Earth-Shattering Blows. Finally, increasing all of your damage by a whopping 15%. This goes for your priority of your stats. First off and foremost, you want agility. Second, you want mastery. Third, you want haste, then crit, then versatility. So mainly what you're wanting to focus on is mastery, first and foremost. But if you can't get mastery, haste is the next best thing, because not only does it help your things come off cooldown a lot faster, it also reduces the global cooldown, or the GCD. Now, let's head into the rotation. In a worldly situation, when I'm out questing or doing world quest, I'll take Feral Lunge, which lunges at your enemy in a ghostly wolf, biting them for 46,675 physical damage. So what I'll do is I'll target my enemy, immediately hit Feral Lunge, then followed up with a Flame Tongue, and then followed by a Frost Brand, then do Crash Lightning. You might want to throw Doom Winds in there to get some good Wind Fury attacks off. And now that you see that I got 2 procs of Storm Strike, I immediately dump them into, just immediately dump them, because you don't want Storm Strike procs to overlap. You want to use them as often as possible, because Storm Strike is your number one, or it used to be Storm Strike is still my number one damaging ability. And make sure, as you see here, you don't want these buffs to fall off. So if you start seeing some of your buffs get really low, refresh them, especially when Flame Tongue has a relatively 10-second cooldown. You want to use it on cooldown followed by a Frost Brand. And anytime Storm Strike comes off cooldown on its own without being procced, you want to hit that. And then when you notice that there's nothing else you can do, like, let me see if I can get it to where my abilities are all on cooldown. Yeah, everything's on cooldown pretty much, so I'll throw in a Lava Lash when there's nothing else to do. So I reactivate Doom Winds as soon as it comes off cooldown. Yeah, keep that ability on cooldown, because it's a hard hitter. Really hard hitter. And then you just follow up your rotation, do Flame Tongue, Frost Brand, Crash Lightning, Storm Strike, and then when you get Storm Strike procs, dump it into your target, because it's gonna get you some big numbers. And then if you're ever fighting elites out in the world, you want to summon your feral spirits to call your little Doom Wolves out. And because you take the Doom Wolf trait, they have elemental properties to them, which does extra damage. For like this wolf here is on fire, and this wolf here is air. So they have elemental properties to themselves. And cope that with your mastery, which increases. Let's back off. Back off a second. Check your mastery. Oh, wrong button. Your mastery here increases your chance to trigger Stormbringer and Wind Fury by 3.11%. That's due to the fact that I have with the gear that I have on. And increases all Fire, Frost, and Nature damage you deal by 49.75%. Which means that if you summon your Doom Wolves, and now that they are imbued with Fire, Frost, and Nature, along with Lightning and all that other elements, they get increased damage based on your mastery. Now, in a raid situation, you don't really want to take Feral Lunge, because Feral Lunge is kind of a selfish thing to take into a raid scenario. What you want to grab is Wind Rush Totem, for the fact that there are times where you need to get out of the stuff that's on the ground. So you'll just throw your Wind Rush Totem down, which, when summoned at the target location you summon it at the target location for 15 seconds. Continually granting all allies who pass within 10 yards, they increases their speed by 60% for 5 seconds. That could mean the difference between life or death in some raid scenarios. So what you do is you throw down your totem and you run really fast. You get a 60% increase to movement speed, and then you just go up, start with a Flame Tongue, go into a Frost Brand, do your Boulder Fist, keep Doom Winds on cooldown, and anytime you get procs of Storm Strike, you want to dump it into your target. Other than that, in a raid scenario, you want to cast Doom Wolves or Spirit Wolves right off, or what are these? Feral Spirits, yes. Feral Spirits right off the bat, because in that case, in most scenarios or most situations, they're going to help you get that little extra burst of damage right there at the beginning of the boss. Not to mention, by the time Spirit Wolves, Feral Spirits come back off cooldown, normally in a raid scenario, you're about that time, you either you can cast it again to get that, an extra burst of DPS, or make sure that if you know that a heroism, when you know your group is about to hero, or Time Warp, or Frenzy, or whatever it's called. For Shamans, it's called Heroism, and it increases haste by 30% for all party members and raid members for 40 seconds. And yeah, you also want to try to save your Feral Spirits for when Hero is popped, due to the fact that they too get increased attack speed and damage. Next, for the food, you always want to try to use, if I can get to my bags, If you always want to try to use anything that increases your mastery. The best mastery food out there right now is called Nightborn Delicacy Platter, which increases, or when you get a well-fed buff from it, it increases mastery by 375 for 1 hour. That is insane. But if you can't afford the delicacy platter, the next best thing is called Barragoodle Murglala, which it's down a little bit, 75 points of mastery, but you still gain 300 mastery for 1 hour when you eat that. Now, if you can't afford that, the thing that you could use instead would either be Pickled Storm Ray, which increases your mastery by 225 for an hour. Now on to flasks. The flasks that you can use, I mean, if you have the situation where you're fortunate to have flasks, you can use Flask of the Seven Demons, which, here it is. Flask of the Seventh Demon increases agility by 1,300 for 1 hour. Counts both as a battle and guardian potion. This effect persists through death. If you're able to get these flasks, they help a lot in raid and world quest or world scenario type situations, even questing for that matter. But if you can't afford the Flask of the Seventh Demon, the next best thing is to go back to the old Draenic flasks, which increase your agility by 250 for 1 hour, and these two count both as battle and guardian elixirs. But they still help you out. Anything that in a raid situation, any type of any extra DPS you could put out, it's going to help you. Due to the fact that agility, and pushing the wrong button again, agility increases the magnitude of your attacks and abilities. So it's going to give you a big damage boost for whatever agility that you can get out of your gear, get out of your special flask and anything. And the potion of choice is the Potion of the Old War. If my mouse would stop moving. Potion of the Old War summons a pair of ghostly fallen warriors that will echo your melee attacks and abilities. I think it lasts for 30 seconds. I will use one here for the sake of science to figure out how long this potion lasts. And this potion, yes, it lasts for 30 seconds. So these potions are best used for when you use hero, or if you need a large burst of damage onto the target to either push it to the next phase, or just to get it dead so that way you can move on and have a good time. And like with all potions, they have a 60-second cooldown. That concludes as how I shaman. If there's any questions that you have or any concerns that you may think I have missed, please leave them in the comment section down below. And until next time, see you later.